When Crossrail opened a few years back, the whole world got talking about London's second cross-city railway. But just across the channel in Paris, the city's fifth cross-city RER line opened just a few weeks ago, to much less fanfare. This project is huge for Paris, and it deserves to be talked about. The RER E Extension is an enormous project that, while not quite done, will make getting around the city faster, more convenient, and of course greener. So where does it go, where are the stations, and how will it change Paris? Let's hop on board. Welcome to RM Transit, a YouTube channel which is increasingly dedicated to the transit expansion of Paris. Hey, they're building a lot of transit. A big part of why the RER's extension across Paris hasn't got as much attention as Crossrail is because it's just an extension across Paris. You see, the RER E is not a new line. It's just that when it opened in 1999, it oddly terminated underground in the center of the city, meaning that trains stopped at Saint-Lazare station for over 2 decades. This made the line an odd sort of half RER with 2 eastern branches funneling passengers into Magenta, which is really Gare du Nord, and Haussmann Saint-Lazare, both of which have 4 platform tracks and 2 lead tracks, allowing for more capacity, sort of like the upper level of Berlin Hauptbahnhof. The RER E extension adds 3 new stations on the line, 2 of which are underground along with 8 kilometers of new tunnel. All for the cost of only a few $billions, which is about how much a tram costs in North America. And remember, this is for giant underground stations and huge tunnels under central parts of Paris. The other comparison you could make is to New York's East Side Access, which costs several times more money, features just 1 station, features less tunnel, and provides way worse service. The French really know how to build. The first new station underground at Port Maillot will form a serious hub, with connections to Metro Line 1, the recently extended T3B tram, as well as the RER C line. This station really reminds me of a spaceship, with giant braces holding the cavern open and giant metallic tubes carrying the escalators up to the light-filled upper levels. I would say this is the standout station on the extension. Next up is La Défense, Paris's modern high-rise business district, which naturally is right next to the existing station. This will probably be the most important station on the extension, and it provides direct connections to the RER A, the Transilien L and U, as well as the Tram T2 and Metro Line 1. La Défense keeps up the metallic theme, but this time with giant wall panels on the underground concrete box, whose undulating bronze-looking roof is supported by giant concrete columns. But also visible here, and also present at Port Maillot, are the hardy wooden platforms, which give the whole station a warm feeling that's half retro, half futuristic. The final station on the extension is Nanterre La Folie, which is a large above-ground but below-grade station just off of the main axis of La Défense, on the footprint of a former rail yard which is just north of the existing RER A station. Literally just to the south of the station, as well as right on top of it, are giant amounts of new high-density development. And the site is also adjacent to the La Défense Arena and will eventually play host to the station for Line 15's northern extension sometime in the future. That, along with the T3B extension, really shows how Paris's various different transport projects are all coordinated with one another, so one project goes in and then other projects connect up to it. Now, Nanterre La Folie is a really big station, and that's because in part it will serve trains coming into service as well as terminating, passing through its 6 platform faces, which are served by giant overbridges connecting into all of that new high-density development. To the south are tunnels which carry the trains to La Défense, while to the north is a new yard which will supply trains onto the line. Speaking of trains, the new extension is being served by the lovely RER NG trains, which are electric multiple units featuring single-deck cars at the ends and a pack of double-deck cars in the center. Right now, while the infrastructure is broken in, these trains will be running every 15 minutes or so, sort of like how when the Elizabeth line initially started operation, service was rather infrequent, albeit not every 15 minutes. In the future, trains will be able to run every 4 minutes or so, once there are actually enough RER NGs delivered to field that service. And all of those trains are going to be needed because the RER E extension is going to play a crucial role in Paris's transport network. Not only opening up new journeys and amplifying existing hubs, but also relieving the strain on some of Europe's busiest rail lines. Across central Paris, the RER E extension will relieve the portion of the RER B between Gare du Nord and Châtelet, and on the RER A from Châtelet to La Défense, providing a more convenient route between Gare du Nord, Paris's most important train station, and La Défense with no transfer and one less stop. This also essentially creates a wide triangle transfer on the RER system in central Paris, with the corners being defined by La Défense, Magenta/Gare du Nord, as well as Châtelet, creating interconnections between the RER A, B, and E. And it's also likely that the line will relieve other congestion on the core of the RER network, such as by allowing passengers to connect to the RER C at a place they currently can't on the RER A, and also by relieving the RER D, which shares the tunnels with the RER B between Gare du Nord and Châtelet. The RER E extension also isn't fully extended yet, and once it is, it'll take over parts of the Transilien J route heading out to Mons, northwest of the city. This will simplify the existing Transilien J route while also giving some riders a direct connection into the center of the city, with the remaining riders on that route still benefiting from increased frequency. And at the same time, the RER E extension is only going to cement La Défense's importance in the Paris region, providing a direct link to Gare du Nord and its international travelers, as well as connections to more suburbs to the east and southeast of the city. And well, of course, far more train service. I think projects across the English-speaking world get a lot of attention across world media. But the RER E extension is going to be just as heavily used as Crossrail or a new Hong Kong MTR extension, all while being built for a fraction of the price. Paris just needs to get on with fixing the RER D now. Thanks for watching.